When it comes to the game, she just knows how to play it.
This is the first time that we have ever played this game.
No idea what to expect throughout the week.
This is day one, and this solves my problem, man. Thank you.
This was our best day one that we have ever had. Welcome to The Blox, the greatest show on entrepreneurship.
Oh my God.
Shit's about to get real.
It is amazing!
Each season, we house startups who live together while going through a formal startup accelerator.
Entrepreneurs from across the country.
There's 60 other people here that have good businesses that are here for a reason.
Oh shit, this is crazy.
They're competing in a series of workshops, one-on-one consults, pitches, and exercises where they'll be ranked from first to last. Well. I want to know what y'all want to get out of this week. Because obviously they're here for relatively obvious reasons. They want the coaching and want the mentorship. What do you guys want out of this experience?
I know for me, because obviously I started off in the coaching space, so it's a passion of mine, being able to work with different people with different backgrounds, different levels of where they're starting off or wherever their business is. So absolutely love that part. So I think for me, it's more of, I just like doing this. But I'm also able to kind of learn from other folks just like you guys. And for me, I knew nothing, absolutely nothing. Self-taught with the majority of the things that I know. So I think that's really important to make sure that the same leg up that you have in your business or information, you're giving it to someone else in some form or fashion too.
Entrepreneurs, they don't know what they have, right? They have this passion and this energy, and they just need to focus it in the right place, and all the resources are available to them, right? You can tap into all that, but you could feed off that room. I love just sitting there and just man, everybody's so engaged and hungry, and it's sort of raw, right? Because they're so hungry they want this knowledge, and I'm like, look, I've made a lot of mistakes in my career, and I'm like, if these mistakes can help people, I will preach to this choir all day long, right?
At the end of the day, business is hard, but it's simple. Right? And so whether you're in a totally different industry, you can relate and basically problem solve. And so for me, I think that aspect is so cool. And so I'm excited for the contestants to be able to do that with us, to throw us challenges hey, how do we figure out this? I mean, I know last night we were just talking with people, right? Trying, well, have you thought about this? Flip the whole thing around, and so I love that shit.
You guys are just super successful, and it just makes me humble. I went to Harvard for grad school, and it's easy for me to get into a silo. And, I was just talking about how many reunions we have around the world, where I'm just, just interacting with folks that run $100 million plus funds, and being able to actually meet folks that are a little bit closer to the kind of things that I'm a little bit earlier in my sort of fund management career. It wasn't too far, just a few years ago, where I was zero revenue. Reliving that experience actually probably reignites the fire in me. So appreciate you guys for being here with me.
I, similarly to you, like to serve. I just love to give, and over the last couple of years, just really grinding. I haven't given much. It's really just been focusing on me since COVID, having to change everything around and launching the software and everything. I used to do beta blocks years and years ago, and I was still learning at that point myself, but working with so many different companies, I'd say one thing that just popped in my head, and it changed their world. And so to be able to do that for people is just man, I wish somebody would have done that for me, so just being able to give that back. Like you said, if I can help one person, that's why I'm here. But at the same time, hearing everybody's challenges in the different industries really helps me think differently and helps me learn and apply different things to my business.
When we start our own companies, we're figuring a lot of this stuff out on our own in the dark. And it's we've got all the answers written on a bunch of different pieces of paper that are in our head. But they're all over the floor, they're all over the cabinet, whatever. And when you mentor at scale this many people and you're forced to kind of show them the pieces of paper with the answers on it, it forces us to color code those pieces of paper, file them up into our brains, And then when we leave, we're actually better entrepreneurs because all of our information is now organized. Because we were forced to take the stuff that we were kind of running off instinct, and now all of a sudden we can actually explain why we're even thinking that way, because instinct is great, but if you can back up why you're making some of these decisions, it makes us better. And so that was one of several like hidden benefits of being in this space is, and that I didn't anticipate, is that I was going to become so good at just selfishly my own job by helping all these other people. And then it's so cool how I'm like stealing things from t-shirt companies to use in software companies and taking software stuff and using it in food. And so there's these best practices in some of those worlds that the other industries haven't adopted. And y'all are going to touch every single industry this week and every single type of entrepreneur. And some of them are going to have these really wacky kind of maybe a tweak in their funnel that you hadn't thought of. And you're like, man, I could sell more courses if I added that this way. And then you'll meet some like a doctor who will say something weird, and you're like, that's actually an interesting way to phrase that in my ad caption. And so we're going to get to find inspiration in all these different industries and make ourselves and our own individual businesses better. And that's a kind of a hidden gift of this whole thing.
I've been looking forward to today for a while. I can't believe I'm here.
It's an adventure. I have no idea what to expect.
This week I am super duper excited about possibly meeting some other businesses that might complement mine.
This is something that is extremely new to me.
I am most nervous about people, which is crazy because I'm in the people business.
I like to know what's to be kind of expected.
I know I'm an entrepreneur. I do entrepreneurial things. Our company is growing, but sometimes I'm still the person that used to work a 9 to 5 and all of this was a dream.
I think I'm nervous about just the uncertainty of what the week's gonna bring.
I think I'm only nervous about not performing well.
I'm nervous about how competitive it is because I'm only used to competing against myself.
With the public speaking, trying to explain what I do.
There's a little bit of intimidation factor being front and center and putting my whole company on the line for everyone to look at and judge.
I don't know exactly what I'm getting into. You can always like watch a show, but it's always different when you're like in it.
I'm nervous about the challenges that they have us do, just because I want to win.
Being here is incredibly surreal.
I mean, my head is all over the place. This is one of the coolest things that's ever happened to me, so I'm just excited to be here.
Now, my name is Mike Simpson, and I'm from Seattle, Washington. And my company is RV2T.golf, and I'm the founder and CEO. So my company, RV2T.golf, is a membership program for RV travelers and golfers. So essentially with our $99 a year program, you can go stay at a golf course in your RV overnight for free. My life has been entrepreneurship for many years now, and I built my family around it of 4 kids. I've gone through marriage and divorce during the entrepreneurial process. And so there's always a lot going on with my family and everything. Part of my story personally is that I come from a background that I struggled in my 20s and really was in a dark place, and that I was able to climb out of it, and I know other people can too. And I like sharing that story with people so that they can know that they have hope to get out of dark spots if they need to.
This topic we have taught forever, but just not in the blocks. And so this is a very meaty topic. I remember the day, the time of day, what couch I was sitting on when I first became aware of what this all was about. And it's like the entrepreneurial clouds parted. What the lean startup is the scientific method, but for startups.
The lean methodology is really important for entrepreneurs because it really takes all of the bias out of it. So we're really boiling down our business models to the scientific method so that we can really be an unbiased third party and take an analytical look at our business functionally.
Do you remember the scene in Mighty Ducks where they have to go back to the basics and teach them how to pass the puck with the eggs? And they're like, okay, you take it really slow or else the egg will crack. And so it's like they took the Bad News Bears of hockey and they had to go all the way back to the basics. I want to go back to some of the basics and do the really important, simple stuff incredibly well.
A lot of the contestants, they're so close to their business. I mean, it's been their baby. And so taking that opinion out and turning it into numbers and facts, I think it's just better way to look at your business, show you where the opportunities are, and again, really take that opinion out.
Picture one of those old school cartoon treasure maps, right? You've got the X, the treasure is somewhere in the top right corner of the map. You're in the bottom left corner of the map. There's some mountains, there's some canyons, there's some creeks. And so in geometry, the fastest way to that place is a straight line. But in this map, we can't go in a straight line because there's mountains in our way, there's rivers in our way, or whatever. So we have to go on this dotted line all the way across in this weird direction to eventually get to the end goal. But we can't take the straight line way there because we don't have enough resources, we don't have enough data, we don't have enough, and I can list off 25 things here. So we have to make sacrifices to the long-term vision in the effort of launching sooner and faster and dirtier and grimier and grittier, because that's what we have available to us. And when we launch such a business, we have to take the long roads. We have to go around the mountains. We have to go over, under the rivers, or whatever metaphor would stick with my treasure map here. But the point is, if we look at that big thing 10 years from now and we attempt to just start building it, it's not going to work.
It's definitely hard and rocky because you're starting from scratch.
When you're looking at something in a quote-unquote normal environment where you're using the scientific method, you have data, you have metrics, you have a ton of different things that you can evaluate and analyze to figure out how you're going to move your process forward.
It gets you off the ground as opposed to just sitting and mulling over all your ideas and getting stuck in that analysis paralysis phase. It gets you moving. It takes your business into motion.
I think a big part of the lean framework is just to kind of get you back on track and kind of figure out the groundwork.
So we are going to use the scientific method of reminding ourselves before every single decision that we ever make. My ego thinks I know what is about to happen, but I don't. It's just an educated guess that is going to allow me to start an experiment. So we have this kind of thing, and Reese refers to this as the steering wheel, and we call it the build, measure, learn feedback loop.
It's like the scientific method for entrepreneurs.
Build is your experiment, measure is you collecting the data to determine what it is, and then learn is analyzing the data.
You want to start there. You want to test things out. So you want to go through this iterative process, different iterations of, hey, I tried this thing out. I actually measured to see how's it doing. And maybe it didn't do how I thought it was doing, but I learned from that and I'm going to try something else now.
Groupon, they were the fastest company in history to ever achieve $1 billion in sales. So I feel like there's a lot to learn from this. The story from his mouth is a direct quote. We took a WordPress blog and skinned it to say Groupon, and then every day we would do a new post. The actual coupon generation that we were doing was all in FileMaker. We would run a script that would email the coupon PDF to people. It got to the point where we would sell 500 sushi coupons in a day, and we'd send 500 PDFs to people with Apple Mail at the same time. Handmade PDFs, a pizza coupon, and a simple blog was enough to launch Groupon into record-breaking success, the fastest to get to $1 billion in sales. And so when we try and reverse engineer the largest companies in the world, a lot of them have incredibly similar stories to this, where we think that in some capacity, some change maker in the world came out and gave them a ton of money and allowed them to kind of pay or buy their way into some sort of a cheat that built their empire beautifully from the start. When really they just started incredibly ugly, incredibly fast, incredibly small, and just slowly but surely tweaked and tweaked and tweaked until what they had was undeniable.
The most surprising thing I learned from today's class wasn't really necessarily a concept. It was making me think in a different way of how I run my business, is really what it was. Is things that you overlook as you get started. Sometimes as an entrepreneur you get over your skis and you go down the hill really quick. You don't really kind of retool and readjust. So today it was kind of a way for me to kind of sit back, reevaluate what I've been doing, how I've been doing it, and now I've got a new business model, right? And with the scientific model, we'll see if it works.
I was already doing this system. I didn't know what it was called, and I didn't understand the details behind it. So as we were going through it, it was really awesome because it was a lot of reassurance that I was doing things the right way.
So I'm Anita Watkins, and this is my handsome husband, Michael Watkins, and the name of our company is Watkins Health and Wellness Home Remedies. We offer sea moss sauce as well as an all-natural elderberry syrup. So my life outside of the business and entrepreneurship is spending time with my family. Well, one of the things that I have to do for me, because I have 3 boys, twin 7-year-olds and a 10-year-old, I love getting my nails done because it's like me time. I don't have to think about anybody other than myself. And as you can see, I like to get like 5 different colors, so my nail tech always has to write my numbers down. And so it's just all about me. I don't have to think about customers. I don't have to think about family. It's just all about me. So that's one of the things that I love doing outside of the business, as well as shopping for my home.
Skating. We like going skating.
Yeah, yeah. Hanging with the boys.
Hanging with the boys, yeah. Just
Yeah.
making little fun dates like that.
Family nights.
Family nights, yeah.
We like playing games.
Absolutely. Uno.
Uno is, yes, we love playing Uno.
My kids are getting real, like, our kids are real competitive now with the Uno. Just some things we like to do.
Yeah.
All right, are you guys ready for the juice? This is the first time that we have ever played this game. It is completely brand new, and you are going to want to take notes. Each startup is going to be given 15 minutes to prepare a 3-minute pitch. In that pitch or speech, you are going to address 4 very nuanced, meaty, difficult questions about the Lean Startup Framework. 1, what is the next build you're working on? Or what is your MVP if you haven't launched? 2, what is the main point you hope to prove by launching this build or MVP? 3, what things are you going to do to ensure that this build or MVP is launched sooner? 4, what innovation accounting metrics will you use to audit the success of that build? All right, with that said, 15 minutes starts now.
I'm a very competitive person, so I like to win, but I'm also really excited about where our business can do better, what we're not doing good, what we are doing good, and where we can start thriving.
I'm not a very competitive person. I'm more a bonding and mutual support type of person.
Yeah, so as I was getting ready to do my pitch, I was thinking about all the different things that I'm supposed to say, but then to incorporate the new tools that I've learned and make sure that I hit those bullet points.
We're just trying to figure everything out, put our thoughts on paper, and there's pressure, the time clock is running down.
The exercise challenge was to describe a build for New York Culture Club. That was a sneaker project that we're working on.
During the teaching, I was able to apply and write little side notes on, oh, I could do this for my company. And so then when it came down to doing the experiment, I was able to just go back and really quickly implement that information, and it went well.
As I prepared for my pitch, I was just extremely nervous. I didn't know if I was going to be able to get all of my points and my topics out that I wanted to say.
I found the exercise today extremely difficult. I think the most difficult part is the time crunch.
The exercise was easy for me because I do this on a regular basis. I talk about these things, but putting it in your format was a little bit more difficult. What we want to do is create 2-minute videos that promote mental health from A-list and B-list celebrities that people can unlock. So every time that they get a daily wellness check, it gives them a point. If their friends on the app utilize it, they get to get those points and start building up and unlocking content, because we can see a direct correlation between people who are utilizing the app daily and improved mental health.
Our build is to hire our first actual employees, which are injectors and nurses. By doing that, we're answering the burning question again of how do we replicate ourselves without losing anything from that.
So I want to do a split test. It's 2 different ads, 2 different price points. So I can have one coupon code that gives it to them for $49.99 and one that gives it to them for $99.99. The main point that I want to prove is whether I'm selling this at the right price.
Our concept dominates lunch and dinner and after hours, but if we can get that last market segmentation, that is the 7 to 11 crowd, the 8 to 9, that's the boozy brunch crowd. The main point that I'm trying to solve is that how much more room is there in the small Ellensburg market for another competitor in the breakfast industry?
Right now I'm finishing up a website and we're going to start running ads out of those. We're going to do LinkedIn ads and Google ads. I called everybody that I know and asked them for money already. So I'm basically trying to get people that don't know about me already to find out about me and to invest their money.
My path and my question is that, can I do online retail online, and can I do it with dogs, cats, or do I have with the current clientele that I have?
And what my next build is going to be is actually provide some templates and already pre-made Excel workbooks on my online store on my website. The burning question that I'm looking to answer is, are pre-made Excel templates worth selling? Can I make money with this doing this online? Everybody has Excel at home.
I would like to determine if people would like to start out in their anxiety healing journey more on a smaller portion of that, rather than focusing on all areas of life and overwhelm someone that's probably already overwhelmed. So the main thing I'd like to prove from doing this is if people better connect initially to just that mental or emotional side of healing.
Our next build is gaining new online monthly subscribers. And so our main point to prove is how to gain sustainable monthly revenue that is consistent.
So my next build will really focus on the virtual planning service. Can I provide enough value for such a custom important day through topical videos and live Q&A is really what I'm looking at.
So the build that I'm currently working on is educational content about medical tourism. The lack of education about the industry creates fear and hesitation about the experience, and we know that people tend to fear what they don't understand.
So the next build that I'm working on is establishing minimums when people want to book me. I'm hoping to prove that, anytime that I decide to pull out my food truck and go out and cook food and serve food, that I'm guaranteed to make $500 if I'm working 4 hours or less, or anything more than 4 hours, I have $1,000 minimum.
So the next build that I'm working on is a multi-location model that will allow me to expand into new markets with investors that are also the operators, kind of similar to a franchise model. Will people trust in my reputation to follow me into such a large endeavor, like going into business and investing probably about $60,000 to get into the program?
Everybody was great in the exercise. I would have liked to see them be a little bit more technical in terms of, really showing comprehension of the subject at hand and then applying it to their business. But overall, I think everybody did great.
I was really impressed with everyone's knowledge on the topic, and I was very proud of how much they had absorbed the information and were really trying to apply it to their own businesses.
So what we've decided to do to launch sooner is start a campaign by way of our emailing and texting system. Ask them that are already customers and that are already purchasing from us, buying from us, to be representatives out of those 30 states to tell about our product and how good our products are.
These injectors were already part of our team of contractors or injectors that work with us, but not necessarily for us. So they know everything there is to know about Smiley Aesthetics and what they're doing and what they're supposed to do. So by doing that and by investing in growing our own, we essentially chopped off all of the things we didn't need to have to make this build happen immediately.
I could do it immediately if I had money. I'm $150K into this of my own personal money invested to get everything in place, get that MVP going. But I just need money for ads, and I could put it out there within a day or two. I have all the back end to be able to create the coupon codes, to be able to track it.
This is very easy for me to do, so I'm starting to launch this now. Anytime I'm talking to anybody to get booked or they're reaching out to me, I'm letting them know off top, I have a $500 minimum. If you have an issue with that, I don't want you to book me.
I've been stalling with this for quite some time, so realistically, I can do it now. I have Shopify in-store, I just have to launch the online portion. I have to be less critical of the marketing and kind of just do that. And the other thing I would like to do is get a little bit more geo-targeted. So instead of launching mainstream, doing shipping and all of that, what I'm going to try to do is start with delivery and in-store.
Because I already have the staff, the prep, and the ingredients, I'll be able to keep that system to just 3 ingredients, limit my waste so that way I'm gaining information but not expending more hours because I'm going to keep the same hours of the business.
I think there's been performance issues, but just because people are nervous, people have kind of a disorganized way of presenting their businesses.
I saw 9 out of 10 people in my cohort just couldn't define goals for that short-term need and that short-term build, right? Of like, what are we trying to learn from this build? And defining the learn aspect of it, that's where the metrics come in, the scientific method. And most people couldn't put a definition on that.
I will track the metrics by tracking the views and engagement on social media. I will track the clicks on the CTAs of the content that I post on my website, and then the time they spend on each blog.
The number of attendees who join, maybe the number of minutes that they watch, the number of questions that they asked, my perception of on 1 through 10, like how engaged they were.
How many leads come to our website, how many people clicked on our videos, how many people read our emails, signed up for the campaign, booked a call, and then finally actually invested with us.
Number 1 is going to be traffic. So once we launch the page, traffic equals interest. Number 2 is going to be leads. So how many people fill out the form? How often do we get a name, an email, and a phone number? And then finally, conversions. How many people give the jump off their money?
During that program, I would release surveys before, during, and after, just to see where they're at, just understand all of the different things.
I'm going to measure this through the direct sales and the website views of the store. And with that ratio, I can determine, should I keep pursuing this? Or maybe certain workbooks are selling more than others.
The way I'd measure success is converting the number of shopping carts, so making sure we're not leaving shopping carts empty, looking at the products that are converting the most to see if maybe I don't have the right product or I do, making sure that our product mix is great.
And we'll be able to see a direct correlation between the people who are utilizing the gamified version and those who are not. Does it drive engagement? Does it keep people using it on a daily basis? I think it went really well. I got a lot of really positive feedback afterwards from the audience, the other participants that were there. Now, whether or not I hit the marks that the judges want, I don't really know.
The exercise was so hard. You're just scrambling, grabbing your stuff, and just writing down notes, and you really don't have much time.
Personally, I did not find the exercise difficult. I don't know if that's like braggy or something.
I'm Blake Collins from Ellensburg, Washington, and I own the Pearl Bar and Grill. We focus on scratch food, scratch cocktails, and an environment that entices conversation amongst friends and people looking for an opportunity to gather together. I have 2 dogs, a cat, a wife. We love getting the opportunity to get outside, take the dogs down by the water. I don't skydive anymore, but that was my hobby for a very long time. Now the wife and the mother say I'm not allowed to do that anymore. And I'm a gamer. So if I'm not in the restaurant or spending time with my wife or kids or everybody goes to sleep, you'll find me in Discord online somewhere playing some sort of competitive shooter or some sort of competitive strategy game, things like that.
So I asked our mentor how he felt the best way to really get that education out there, how to really evaluate over time some of those accounting metrics, really asking which of those specific ones should I focus on. They have to experience it, they have to see it. So we've been doing a lot of live events and asking a lot of questions. We've been doing Twitter spaces on a weekly basis to reach new people and ask a lot of good questions. Yeah. This is a new thing, so what's interesting is there's not a lot there as far as having been done before in the exact way that we're doing it.
Is that your way of saying like, hey, I'm not sure if revenue is the metric here?
I know we have the intellectual rigor at play here, but it's really communicating the value proposition effectively. Yeah. My name is Brian Juracek. I'm from Manhattan, New York City. I'm with New York Culture Club. I'm the founder and CEO of New York Culture Club, and we're a tech-embedded lifestyle and apparel brand. We use near-field communications chipping, or a subcategory of radio frequency identification, or RFID, many times found in your wallet and your credit cards and different types of tap payment. We put that in apparel, and we create unique experiences for individuals. So there's many different ways that you can create function with embedded tech and apparel. Well, I suffer from what I guess I would call an energy affliction. So I do enjoy my work and I really dive into my work for a large part of the day. But I'm an avid runner, so I run and I just creative endeavors, make a lot of art, physical art and technological art, and I play drums. So I'm a musician and have been since age 7. So that's always been a part of my life, and I play in a few different bands.
I find it challenging when, social media views / activity is the primary metric. A business is not gonna, show traction unless there's actually money in the bank. To the extent that you're able to find ways to kind of demonstrate that, and it may not be actual money in the bank, some sort of conversions leading almost there. Mm-hmm. And so from there, you could kind of get an understanding of what may convert. So I've hosted 100 plus business events in my career. This is actually like in my DNA. However, the kind of people here were the right balance of like impressive and results, but also they needed a little something, a little direction, a little help.
I was like so excited to get up here. I'm like, this is day one and this solves my problem, man. Thank you.
One-on-one consultations went really well. It was a mixture of consulting on their business, but really trying to focus on the lean startup and how they understood it, and a couple more problems from their business.
So there was a lot of people who wanted to pitch me their entire business and why it was a great idea and why it will be successful. And that wasn't really what the assignment was. So I had to go, hold on, time out, let's back up. All I need is this, this, and this. Let's stick to that.
I know I hate questionnaires, so if I can get somebody to talk with me, I'd rather do that if it's sending them a voice note or if it's actually calling my customers up on the phone. Hey, how'd you like this month? Is there anything you feel you missed the mark on? That's going to be the big thing, because I want to be able to retain these customers so that they're, with me at least a year.
I love that you talk to your customers, and I would bet that they love it too, because that's that type of service. I would make sure that you get very specific in a plan. 1 month after, I'm going to call them, I'm going to ask this question, this question, this question. So get very specific about what your follow-up plan is, like what questions you're going to ask, when you're going to do it, how you're going to do it. But you can also find those metrics just in the simple fact of like how many people are still subscribed, how many people have deleted, how many people have onboarded. So those metrics are really helpful without having to bug them with a survey.
The consultations at first, people were a little nervous, how do I take lean startup into my business? And this is really technical. But I think as we started to go through, people really got on board with it. And again, it was almost like that light bulb in their head. Once it went off, other people started chiming in to help them out. And it became more of a collective than just one-on-one, which I thought was really cool.
So excited to talk to you. When we were going through the build, measure, learn today, I could not stop thinking about how we could totally make that work between our two businesses, where we start with a couple snacks from you and bring them into Rusty's.
So yes, I am definitely excited as well, and I would love to get some snacks into both of your stores.
Yeah.
My name is William Ferguson, and I am from Jefferson City, Missouri, and my company is called Cultured Vending LLC. Cultured Vending is a vending machine / wholesale company, and we are different because of the fact that we have the exotic snacks. So the snacks that most people see online or in different regions of the world, we have for you to try locally. Outside of my business, Cultured Vending, I am a full-time single father. I have 2 older boys, and my oldest son, he actually helped out and created my logo. My younger son is helping me out with doing the social media aspect of the business. However, outside of our business though, we like to travel. We are big sports fans. We are season ticket holders for the Chiefs. So we come up here to Kansas City a lot for a lot of the games. Other than that, we just like to enjoy ourselves and travel and just have fun.
So we are Okie Sister Tees. We are moms on a mission that does custom apparel. We can handle single orders to fundraisers to commercial accounts.
We're all moms. We have 7 kids between us, and 4 of them have special needs. And so we created the company basically that we could work with our kids. We couldn't work a regular 9-to-5 job. We do a lot of community outreach. So we do like Christmas parades, things at the school, things in our community, our churches. So that's really what we do. We do our business and then we have our kids on the side, and that's kind of who we are.
Well, well, well. I cannot tell you guys how proud I am. I personally think that this was our best day one that we have ever had. Now, with that said, though, let's bring out the judges. Okay, this one might get bad, but I think that we have chosen 7 people that will do their best, and I think that we'll represent it very well. Up first, Valley Mountain Wear. There you go.
So I didn't find it that difficult because I felt like I just picked an area that needed improvement but also wasn't going to be overwhelming for me to think about in 15 minutes, which I feel like definitely other people did, which is maybe why they struggled.
Nala Fitness.
I wasn't sure fully of the direction that I was taking, and so this provides me like confirmation of what I'm doing. I'm on the right path.
Wine Key Experience.
So happy right now. Like, to be the best one in my group today is like huge, and I'm excited and I'm proud of myself for that.
Genius Potential Inc.
Mama, I made it. Listen, man, yo, we won the pod. This is crazy. We just got here. I don't think I 100% know what's happening yet. So just to hear our name called, Genius Potential, I'm so happy for our team, my business partner, Det, Courtney at home. You're awesome. I'm just so happy for the whole team and just, I'm blown away. I'm really blown away.
Chris Murray Golf.
I guess I'm in a much better place than I thought I was coming into entrepreneurship and business, which is a really, really good feeling, and it's glad to have that support from the judges and from the rest of my friends out here, so this is fantastic.
The Grace Case Company.
Yeah, so I won my pod today. I'm super excited about that. Absolutely nervous about what's about to happen, but really glad to know that out of 60 people that are all phenomenal people and great business people, that I got chosen to represent the top 7, you know, that's pretty cool.
The Center for Proper Protocol and Etiquette.
So I won my pod tonight, day 1. Very unexpected. I'm so excited, but I'm terrified because I don't know what's about to happen. Suspense is terrifying.
Is this gonna be my villain origin story?
We have some interesting developments.
The challenge of the Blox-Off is the fact that you have 0 time to prepare and you have absolutely no idea what you're walking into.
All right, are you ready?
No.